Hi, my name is Pete DeCarlo, and I'm a professor in the Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering and the Department of Chemistry at Drexel University. I'm going to talk a little bit about some recent research that just came out of my lab regarding third-hand smoke uptake to particles in the indoor environment. So what is third-hand smoke? Third-hand smoke is the chemical residue left behind on clothing, furniture, or other indoor surfaces that have been exposed to tobacco smoke. This residue is persistent and provides a way in which tobacco smoke can continue to expose people long after smoking has occurred, and even in non-smoking indoor environments. So what did we find? Making measurements in an unoccupied, non-smoking classroom, we found that almost 30% of the tiny particulate matter, these are tiny particles that we can breathe into our lungs, could be associated with this third-hand smoke residue. This was a surprising finding, and not something that we were even looking for when we started making the measurements. It made us dig deeper and try to understand how a non-smoking classroom could have so much influence from tobacco smoke. To understand that, we had to figure out how these chemicals behave indoors, and that starts with how they get into the indoors in the first place. The most obvious way is when someone smokes indoors. We knew this wasn't the case in our study, so we had to think about other ways that smoke can come indoors. Smoke chemicals can also come off the clothing of smokers and become absorbed on indoor surfaces. Additionally, smoke can come in through windows or doors or cracks in the building, which allow air from outside to come in. Once inside, the smoke residue gets on surfaces, and this is where the chemistry gets interesting. Many of the chemicals in cigarette smoke have nitrogen associated with them. This nitrogen can become positively charged and keep those molecules attached to surfaces until they lose that positive charge. Here I'm using the nicotine molecule as an example of the various processes these molecules can undergo. Additionally, these compounds are quite reactive and can react with other chemicals in the indoor environment and become oxidized. And if molecules such as ammonia are present indoors, and we as people emit ammonia, then that ammonia can take the positive charge away and allow those molecules to release from the wall and go back into the room air. Once those molecules are released from surfaces and are back in the room air, they can either go back to a different surface, or if they come into contact with a particle, preferably one that has water associated with it, they can enter the particle and react to become positively charged again. Once that happens, these molecules are trapped in the indoor particles. Since ventilation systems indoors move and condition the air, these particles can be transported through these systems to other rooms in the building or house, exposing everyone to these chemicals. Simply put, what happens in one room happens in all the rooms on the same ventilation system. This process, as described, is how we found such a significant amount of third-hand smoke in a non-smoking classroom. We expect that this mechanism applies to anywhere smoking has occurred, including private residences, hotel rooms, rental cars, and other places. It's a new exposure route that has not been previously identified, so additional research is needed to better understand the potential health impacts from third-hand smoke in these indoor particles.